What's going on, guys? Gaming out here and King. Can I hear you, King?
Mm-hmm. You can hear me.
All right, hold up. All right, try to talk now.
I can hear you.
It always be like working sometimes and not working sometimes. I have to figure out exactly how this works.
Yeah, I hear you every time.
All right, talk now.
I'm here. All
All right, now I can hear you. I don't know what. I always have to like switch you off and on before I can hear you. It's weird. All right, so obviously we are back with another R&R, man. So what's been going on, King?
Well, Titanfall. Well, Titanfall.
Oh, we
Attack on
starting
Titans.
straight with it. Starting straight with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that's just my journey into the Attack on Titans world. So I got to the survey team, and everybody came over. It was one big speech like, if you're gonna join the survey team, you gonna die, and if you about that life, then you need to ride or die. And it was like 100 people strong, and then it was 10. So the survey team got over there. They got their little jackets. I mean, they capes. The capes. Don't disrespect the capes, because the capes is like the most prestigious thing popping. So, everybody see them walking through the town with the capes on. Yo, outside of that wall, it is buck bananas. Yo, they go out there and they go out in the field and they got to run out in formations, and they got mad formations. They mad synchronized. They got the whole amen. He said, here, okay. Shout out to Sovereign with the $20 super chat. Here's my obligatory super chat so I don't get shamed for no reason on Sunday. Now let me bounce before they spoil episode 2 for me.
Look, man, we see. Look, Soft, because I know you ain't never here. We got a spoiler room, all right. So unless it's red, we good. Unless it's red, it's green. Like
Addict. I mean, if he watched the show, he would know we got spoilers that it'll pop up and it say spoilers like that. You see it?
I'm gonna start saying that, King. Unless it's red, it's green.
Basically, it's a goal. All right, so they out there and they in formations, right? And they got the smoke. They shoot the smoke out, buddy. These dudes is fighting regular, 14-foot Titans or whatever, 14-story Titans. Those are the small, fast dudes. Then this dude came out crab style from behind the building, and he was chasing old boy on the horse, crab style. If you don't know what crabs look like, they hunched over and they move real fast. And he's chasing this dude at super top speed. And it was bugged out, but they wind up evading that dude. And then in the distance, they see this big Titan that look a little bit different, and it's running at top speed, like faster than the normal Titans. And it's just coming up on him. And if they notice it's a female, because homeboy said, "Oh man, look at the hips on that one." Yeah. So the Titan comes running up, and it's really not paying them no mind. And I guess they felt disrespected because the Titan wasn't even paying these dudes no mind. And he's like, "Yo, we're gonna take him out." They went to go take out the Titan, and they use these swords to chop off the neck. So when you're out in the open field, it's very hard because you can't grapple on the buildings. So you have to grapple onto their flesh. The dude grappled onto one piece of the flesh.
You know how, real quick to interrupt you know how serious that is? They actually have a Titan Attack on Titan game. They have 2 of them.
Oh, that's dope. I gotta play it.
Yeah, when you're using that Oni gear in the fields, you could only use it on one tree at a time. So you have to shoot yourself as far as you can, hoping you could grab another tree, and it's rough. Like, those horses are very vital to their survival.
But they said it. They was like, make sure you stay on the horse because Aaron fell off the horse. But they go up against the Titan, and he tried to smack him in the neck, and he blocked it and then knocked the dude off his horse and smashed him on the floor and just kept moving. Didn't eat him. Okay. All right. Iron Lords podcast again. $20 super chat. Just remember, the rest of the lords are not allowed to have their own opinions on movies unless you watch R&R. So here's my obligatory super chat, so I don't get abused as the host of IOP. God, wow!
You know what's going on? They're talking to each other on the phone right now. Okay, you do it first, and then I'll do it next. Like,
and I come right behind. Pause. Hollywood rules with the $2.
At least they know the rules. When it comes to movies, if you ain't on the show, your opinion don't matter.
Exactly. Did you hear that, y'all? Hollywood rules with the $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. My boys, keep doing your thing. Last of Us so far. That's right. Love for The Last of Us is definitely dope.
Yeah, we'll get into that here, Reese, momentarily.
So, okay, Aaron's on the floor. I'm just gonna get to the quick part. Aaron's on the floor, and a Titan does some different crap. Grabs this little hoodie
and like lifts it just a little bit.
Could you imagine King Kong just grabbing your hoodie to peek and see your face, who you are, and you ain't the person he's looking for? He just
yeah. That's the first time in the show that the Titans show some form of intelligence, but that's not. They're like, oh, that's the reason that Aaron had that Arwen had everyone put their hood over, because that Titan's looking for Aaron. Like,
exactly. But see, let me tell you, that's not the first time, because the other skin and bone Titan, the one that they was trying to kill, the one that just disappeared like that, he showed intelligence Titan, too. Yeah,
the tall one, the very tall one. I'm very curious, like, once you get to like, you're about to get to the point where I would say is a hard stop, and then we'll start doing the back end stuff that we have planned. Yeah, because I want I think people are going to want to see your general impressions on what happens in this forest that you're about to come up on.
Okay, so yeah, because we're gonna be doing a Patreon stuff and other channel stuff, and we'll let y'all know exactly to see the live reactions, because I'm gonna watch the show live for you guys, and y'all can get my reactions when I'm screaming and yelling and and all types of stuff. But so Attic, I popped into your DMs and I was like, yo, check out this show, because I'm trying to educate Attic on superhero stuff.
Okay, hold on. So are we officially moving on to
yeah, that's my Attack on Titan. I'm outside the wall. I'm in the survey team. They got their hoodies on, and we find out that there's female Titans with nice hips running around, peeking under people's hoodies.
All right, so just to clarify, we're going to the super one, right?
Yeah, so we're going to Battle of the Supersons.
All right, so I did watch Supersons. How exactly do they want me to? Is it Battle of the Super? Okay, first off, I didn't know Superman had a kid. I'll be real. Yeah, I didn't know that. So explain to me about Superman having a kid first. Like, what's the origins behind this? this Batman. First of all, I didn't know Batman had a kid either. So yes. Point that out too. So what's the origins behind all this?
Okay, so Batman, he didn't even know he had a son. He had a son with Ra's al Ghul's daughter, and
the one that he was messing, the one that Arrow was messing with in the show.
What she did was she like tranquilized him, whatever. Took his, she basically raped Batman, right? Mm-hmm. Got his baby, and her and Ra's al Ghul raised him. But she didn't like what Ra's al Ghul was trying to do, because Ra's al Ghul was trying to have him become the leader of the clan. Taught him how to kill and all this other stuff, and she wanted more for her son. So she, contacted Batman, told Batman that he had a son, and dropped him off like, here, after the kid is like 13, 14 years old, here's your son. And he's having a hard time adjusting to, being in confinement. He's like a boss. He's the most dangerous Robin that ever was.
I like? There was a part where an individual jumped on, we're not getting into the spoiler thing.
Yeah, we're not doing spoilers.
But they jumped on this jet. And Robin's like, what are you doing? Just kill her.
and that's what I like about him, because he's not like Dick Grayson. He's not like Jason Todd. Jason Todd had all the bravado, but none of the training, right? Dick Grayson has all the training, but no bravado, right? So now you have Damon. Damon is a different animal within himself because he's better than Batman, right? Let's be real. He's better than Batman, but he's just in a little tiny shell. So if he was Batman's age and height and weight, I think he can beat Batman. But and Superman's son, he had it with Lois Lane. Lois Lane, that's John Kent. And I think that the smartest thing that DC did was give Batman a son, a biological son, so he can stop going around grabbing these orphans up with these little boys and stuff like that. Because I didn't think it played well with modern times now, right? Because yeah, in the books back in the days, it's like, oh, he got an orphan, and Dick Grayson, his family died. Let me take this kid, but then you put him in child endangerment, basically have him out there fighting criminals. So this is his kid, and he's the most trained Robin is. Now, Superman's son, what you've seen in this movie is, he was born, his powers didn't manifest itself because they didn't know if it would manifest itself or if it wouldn't. But over a period of time, his body absorbed rays from the sun because they're like little batteries, Kryptonians. And his powers were manifesting through trauma. So through trauma, it evoked his powers, like, kind of like mutants in the Marvel universe. So you saw him get the heat vision first, and then he got the super strength, and he still doesn't have the ability of flight yet in this series, in this movie.
Yeah. There's a time, towards the end, portion of the movie where he's like, I got something for you. He's like, what? He pushes the ball. He's like, still can't fly. It's like he takes like enjoyment out of being able to do stuff that his dad can't do to the real Superman, because
exactly
first off, he couldn't push the real Superman. So,
but you notice how, like, it's so funny. Batman's son likes Superman, and Superman's son likes Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so weird, so but they have a nice camaraderie, because in the movie you get a chance to see Batman and Superman talk about their children and raising a son and how hard it is, and you can see two different styles in parenting excuse me, where Batman is a little rough, but Superman is a lot more gentle, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Superman is a stronger one, so he has to learn how to be more gentle with his son, because he's going to probably inherit the same powers that he has. Batman has to be a little bit more rough with his son because of his upbringing and the fact that he doesn't have these superpowers to fall back on, and he wants him to be prepared for whatever the world is going to bring him. So it's two different parenting styles, but they both love their kids. They both love the hell out of their kids. So, and I like this movie.
So you want to go ahead and get into the spoiler part of it?
Yeah, guys, we're going to get into the spoiler portion. Remember, now, this is Battle of the Supersons. It's showing on HBO Max now, so you can go check that out on HBO Max. It's something really dope if you're into animation. I think Warner Brothers, DC Animations, they do the best cartoons. I don't know why they can't translate it to their movies, but they definitely translate it well in the cartoons.
So I actually watched this a lot of it with Grace. Grace is actually, because I was like on and off the first time I watched it. I had to like go back and rewatch it. But she was more into it than I was, because I said, I can't watch this, I'm half asleep. She's like, no, I want to finish it though. So I like the fact that, like, it kind of makes more sense that, to me, that Batman would have a kid. I didn't even know Superman had a kid in comics or anything like that.
Right.
So it's interesting that, like, his powers keep evolving throughout the movie. Like, and it's like one of the aspects that I really enjoyed about this movie, is there was a part in the movie where they're fighting each other's fathers.
Right. They had to switch it up.
And Superman's kid's like, yo, let's just switch. And I have to respect Damian. I think that's his name, Damian. Because Damian was like, I fight Superman, that's fine, but we got to jump my dad real quick. Like, there was no hesitation. There was no, I don't know, that's Superman's like, oh, that's fine. We just got to go get something real quick.
Yep, we got to go beat my pops up because he has that contingency plan. Yo, you know what I like?
The
When
moment
they
he
made it
said
up
we
to
got
the
to go
space
visit my
station.
dad real quick, I knew what he was getting.
I
Like
knew
I
what he was
knew
gonna
what
go
he was
get. Yo, I like when they got into the space station and they were looking for the anomaly, and they opened the doors, and all the Justice League and the Teen Titans, well, the ones that were there, like Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter, Kid Flash, and
He's
Wonder
like, we're
Girl.
screwed.
Yeah. It's like,
And you
right.
could tell that Daniel was way more aware of what was going on than the kid Superman. Like,
Oh yeah, but
yeah,
it leads to big city versus small country. You know, it's he's a little bit more sharp in things to pick up and detective work and stuff like that because of his upbringing. And John Kent, he's named after the grandfather, Superman's surrogate father. He's a baseball kid. He goes to school. He's a normal kid, you know, and he doesn't even know as soon as the movie starts that his father is Superman. He saw the cape and the super and the costume under the bed. He's like, oh, what are they into, cosplay? And I was like, yo, Jimmy Olsen is black. That was a different take on Jimmy Olsen, because when Lois Lane runs up on Jimmy Olsen, she's like, yo, open your mouth.
yeah.
Open your mouth.
It's kind of crazy that his mom, like, his mom is what's the chick that Lois, is that the same
Lois
person?
Lane. Mm-hmm.
But she is way more extra in this movie than I've ever seen her in anything. Like,
More
she walked
action
up,
oriented.
yeah, she burned him, and she's like, they're weak to fire, honey. Burn they ass. I was like, gee. What I'm kind of curious is, how did her parents like come out so naturally than the other ones did?
Did her parents?
No, her parasite, when they burnt her on the
Oh,
jet, her parasite just came straight out. Why didn't all the other ones come out like that? Because when they burnt some of them,
remember, she went under the water. So I
you
think
think it
after
was
they got
damaged
burnt,
and it
it was
couldn't
damaged.
breathe or something.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I can come up with. I mean, but it was a plot point. You
Yeah, a
found a
little
plot
plot
hole.
point. It wasn't a big plot point though. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, you know, just first off, it's animation. I feel like this type of storytelling's done better in animation.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed when they fought the Justice League, or I don't know if that was the Justice League.
It was the Justice League / Teen Titans.
Well,
You had 2 Teen Titans there, and you had 2 Justice League members there.
And they couldn't have, even though he had some of his dad's powers.
Yeah.
They couldn't have won that without I forgot the dude's name. With Damian, because Damian knew their weaknesses.
Yeah, Damon's a tactician.
Yeah,
Plus,
when he was fighting them, he was fighting them for their weaknesses.
Yeah, he's Batman, little Batman.
And you could tell that the kid, the Superman kid, he wasn't about that life. He was winging it, like all of winging it, like
learning it on the fire. It was funny that they shot him to the Space Observatory in Superman's original rocket that he came to Earth in. It was crazy. It was all cramped up in there. And he found his baby blanket, and he uses it as a cape. And he's like, "Yo, it looks dope, don't it?" And Damon's like, "Nah, not really, not at all."
Yeah, so I have to, you know, hat off to this movie. You know, I liked it, man. I liked it. But what's the popcorn rating, man? I'm gonna go
4.
for it.
Oh, go ahead.
I have to say 4 too. I have to say
you give it a 4, right?
I feel like it was a phenomenal movie.
It was dope. It was dope. The animation was dope. So remember, the star creature was in the live movie adaptation of Suicide Squad 2, right? And my wife even said this was a better take on that creature. And in the movie Suicide Squad 2, it was just dorky, she said, and it didn't come off like a real threat, and it felt like they would be able to fix it. But this one, they really showed how dangerous the threat was and how it can hide in plain sight. Because in the movie, they was all on the face at all times. In this the animation, it hides in their mouth, and then it burrows out right before it's about to attack or whatever to see things. So I think this was well done.
Is that thing like real in the actual comic?
Yeah, in the comic books, yeah.
All right, so I didn't know that, but yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a solid thing. I think people should definitely go check it out, especially if you are. I mean, we didn't really say the good thing about spoiling something like this. If people showed up, towards the end, is even though that we spoiled some of the plots in the movie, it's still worth a watch. Like
Yeah, we
just how
didn't
they do
spoil
things.
too much.
Yeah, but it's still worth a watch, man. It's still worth a watch.
Definitely.
All right, so King, I sent you on an homework assignment, kind of like what you did to me with that last movie. I'm like, yo, check this movie out, man. Check this movie out. What was that movie? What was that movie, King?
Sick.
Yeah, so we watched Sick. I watched it last week, and I was sitting in there at my girl's place, and I was looking for something because she was at work, and I was like, what can something I could watch? And I saw this movie on Peacock. It was called Sick. Yeah, it's a Peacock original. I don't know if that means like it would ever go anywhere, because sometimes certain things just it's an original because they made a deal. So right now you can only watch this on Peacock, and pretty much what it is, it's like it's kind of those things that you would see off of something such as we all knew when we was going into they were going to make movies about the pandemic. We knew it was going to happen.
Oh God.
And this movie is very centered around the pandemic, but they don't throw it in your face. And I think you can agree, King. The settings and a lot of the plot has to do with the pandemic, but once you get past the stuff they do to open that up, I'm wanting to say that this movie does a very good job at separating itself from the pandemic, and to a point where you don't even know this is about the pandemic anymore.
No, I was keenly aware throughout the whole film that this was a pandemic film. In a sense, they were told to quarantine. Excuse me, and that's the reason why they're in this cabin. Social media plays a big thing in
huge
this.
part of this.
It's this.
I remember
movie
we
is so
ain't in the spoiling part yet, though. So.
Oh no, we didn't get there. This movie is so topical, so current, so now. I mean, from the vernacular of the characters, from the the actors, from the scenery, from the technology that they're using, everything about it was current. It felt now. It didn't feel like it was excuse me, displaced out of time or anything. It was very, very current. So I was like, okay, and I'm gonna see how it's gonna work, how they're gonna use technology with it, how they're gonna use what's topical as far as the pandemic goes. And it weaves its way into the story in a way that it's not so intrusive, like you said, but it's on the film, and you get a sense of, okay, this is the reason why they're on this lake by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you got a reason why they're isolated. So, you have a reason why this movie is in this setting.
What I liked about it is, like I said, the reason I think it does a good job by stating this is a pandemic movie, but then about 10 minutes into it, after they've established it's the beginning of the pandemic, you got to isolate yourself. Yeah. You kind of forget about that for like half the movie.
Yeah,
because pretty much it's like the movie's generally like a Scream without the comedy. It's like someone's in the house, huh?
I said, boy, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, so someone's in the house, someone is doing some suspect stuff. That's pretty much what the movie's about. And I think they do a good job at really building up anticipation of what is actually going on. So it is. So what was your overall perspective when you saw like just the trailer, or not even trailer, just first 5-10 minutes? I don't know if you watched the trailer, because I usually watch a trailer before I pop in a movie.
Nah, I don't watch the trailer on something that like if it's an assignment, something I gotta watch. I just go into it, right? I go into it blind, not knowing what's going on. The first 10 minutes, somebody's getting murdered.
Yeah, they do a really good job at like just kicking the door open, and it's crazy. You want to just go ahead and get straight in to
Yeah,
this
well, I mean, it
to the
starts to
spoiler.
start off with a spoiler. So,
Yeah,
um,
let's go straight into the spoiler, man. Let's go
yeah,
straight into the
first 10 minutes, it's crazy because you have no idea why. Right? Okay, guy's in a supermarket. He gets a text message. So this is where they use technology at, right? They're using the technology. And it's like, nice butt.
And he
What?
thinks it's a joke. He's looking around
Like, yeah. First, no, it says something stupid. The first one, it said,
you want a party or something
do
like
you
that.
want a party? And he's like, man, who the hell is this? Dismisses it automatically. And then he's in line. They take a picture of his butt and says, nice butt. So he's looking around, paranoid, like, who the hell is here? He doesn't recognize nobody behind him.
Here's my question to you, King.
Yeah.
Let's say you at the store.
Mm-hmm.
You get a message saying, nice butt. Are you going to take it as well as he did, where he didn't really question anything, didn't look around really? Like, he just did like...
Well, you got to look at the stature of the kid. He wasn't a demonstrative dude. He was a diminutive dude, He didn't look like he's into any confrontational type of aspect. So me personally, I'm going to count how many people's on the line. Then I'm going to judge the distance in the shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smacking the dog fire out of whoever is in that distance that I think you at.
I think it was one of those things where the individual took the picture and then left the scene. Like, I don't.
Well,
think
somebody would have just got smacked for no reason, because it's absolutely no way you're gonna take a picture of my butt and say nice.
You just
butt
go see King walk up and just ooh. Like, it's like one of those things where they're sitting there like, but why?
I know, right? Let me see your phone. Let me see your phone. I'm on TikTok now. Let me see your phone. I'm gonna say when a male Karen goes crazy. Let me see your phone.
You're gonna have he's gonna be on 6 o'clock news in cuffs against the cop car. He be like, why did you do it? He took a picture of my behind.
Yo, but check it out, Addict. I wouldn't die. I wouldn't die. So okay, so get it. So the dude leaves out of there. He gets in his car. He goes home, and when he gets into the house, he hears like a car alarm, and then he got another text message or something.
Yeah, I can't remember what that text message said, but there was definitely another text message.
He got another text message, and he looks out his door, but he turns back because he hears something outside the window, and then you see somebody walk in the background into his house. We're all black. I'm like, oh, this is real. Oh, okay, he's in danger. The dude, without any hesitation, pulls out a butcher knife that's like yay big.
That you couldn't realistically fight with. Like, you realistically couldn't fight with that.
Nah. But he was abnormally strong. He's slamming this guy all over the place.
Look in the picture we displayed for the chat. Like, this is the size of the butcher. It's like a Michael Myers butcher knife.
Yeah,
like,
it don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
You would hurt yourself quicker than you would hurt them with that thing.
At some point in time, it's gonna, you're gonna get tired swinging this big butcher knife. He fights this guy, man. They do all types of things, and it was a point where he could have ran out the house. This idiot stays in the house.
Yeah, he should have left. That's where you see like little holes where realistically a human being would have left the house.
Yeah,
and because I guess obviously, we are in the spoiler thing because I'm about to spoil a big portion of the movie. There was more to going on than just that individual. There was actually two killers. And
I didn't know that though. I thought it was one dude getting busy.
I didn't know that at that time. You know when I knew there was two killers? When they threw homegirl off the top of the balcony, and when she went to the bottom, the killer was already there, coming in the front door. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way you can move that fast."
Nope. At that point, I still thought it was supernatural stuff. Because he was abnormally strong when he threw homeboy up against the wall.
Yeah.
and he had him up on a pike.
I don't like this concept when we're doing like these like slasher things where one person and they as a group. It don't matter if that's a man. As a group, those two chicks and that third dude, because we didn't know about the second dude at the time, would have bodied that dude. Like, would have bodied him.
Addict. All right, so all right, so, okay, so let's all right, so this guy dies, right? He gets killed.
Yeah, well, I just skipped like huge portions.
He slashes the dude neck. So cut to two girls. Two girls are going to quarantine together, and they get over to the cabin because this is our family's cabin. What I noticed off the rip, there's a very huge lack of security.
Yeah, it was kind of bad, and you know, I felt like the chicks too was a little bit like naive. They didn't
not the black one. The black one was jumpy and scared of everything. You know.
Yeah, but I don't think that's any form of like. I think that's a lot of like, you know, just her anxiety coming off. Like, and the other chick did not care. The other chick did not care whatsoever
about anything. But then, okay, so then the dude DJ shows up. DJ shows up because DJ think they have a thing, but she's using DJ as a little, you know, little boy
little side
toy.
Piece. That it does seem like she did get a little too close to the star, to the sun.
Yeah, like, she was feeling herself. She goes and she does a video of her kissing a whole bunch of boys at this party. And I guess the video goes viral. I guess it goes viral.
For some reason. I have no clue why that video would go viral.
It wasn't nothing big, but I guess for the pandemic, you're going around kissing people and it's called...
Yeah, you think about it that direction, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, you know, pandemic, F the pandemic, COVID's not real, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But she really put it up to hurt this dude, to hurt his feelings. Because he wanted to make it something more, and she wanted to show him that we're not serious. This is just a fling thing. And her inadvertently trying to hurt and be malicious to this kid who actually cared about her because he drove all the way up there to see her. And he's like, yo, you know, what's up? What's going on? When, you know, let's get down to the conversation. And she basically dismissed him and you know, like, you know, kicked him to the side. But that's when everything kicks off. That's when the killer comes, gets into the house. Nobody sees him when he gets in.
No, you do see him if you really pay attention. When he goes out to the truck, oh yeah, they don't see him.
Yeah, they don't see him. We see him.
So pretty much what happened is the chick ends up one of them goes to bed first, and then the chick that is leading on the other dude, she goes to bed. So it's just this dude. He's upset, so he goes out to his car, and when he opens the door, because you got to consider the door's here, and the door to the house is on the other side, so he doesn't have visible sight on the house at this point, because he's looking inside, and there's a door between him and the front door. The killer comes around that front side and goes straight in. You see it, but they don't see it.
Nice and quiet. So he goes
that
inside.
butcher knife, he was walking with it too.
Yeah, like I'm like, yo, this guy is crazy. So he goes inside the house. The homeboy, you know, falls asleep on the couch. This is where it turns into 2023 stuff. This killer takes the time, not kill them, not kill them. He goes and takes their cell. He goes to each and every last one of them,
and somehow none of them woke up.
None of them.
But the dude woke up.
Take their cell, but he woke up because he wanted to use his phone or whatever. Because, you know, we're addicted to these stupid gadgets. So he gets up to reach for his phone. His phone is missing. And then when he stands up, there's loud music playing.
And then keep in mind, it just pans away from that. You don't see this dude for a couple minutes. So your mind is set, something's about to happen. You're not going to see it. Then it pans straight to the chick that's leading them on. And what I like about it is they threw me off guard for a second. I thought she was going to come out there, see him stabbed, maybe see him dead or something related to that. But she walks to the stairs, she looks down, and he shows up and puts his hand over her mouth and says, there's someone in the house. And I'm like, yo, it caught me off guard because they don't normally do that, King. They don't normally let the other people know what's going on.
So that part happens, and he says, we got to go get the other girl. Then the killer pops up.
What?
The killer pops up. At this point, I'm like, jump him. In my head,
That's what I'm saying. Like
jump.
at this point, okay, let's put it to you guys this way. Okay, here's the house. She is outside the house. So the white chick's outside the house, the black chick is in the bed, and the killer's coming to her in the bed. So, it would take a couple seconds for that white chick to get around, but she could. But, okay, so he's about to kill the black chick. Homeboy just comes out of nowhere and slams against the wall, and then he tells her to run. I'm like, no. Like, if the black chick and that dude would have teamed up, that dude would have been out of there.
They would have killed him right there. Easy.
Because the dude was giving him that business, King. Like,
in the beginning, when he had the strength.
There's a couple times where I thought he was about to. That's what I like when they make the killers defeatable. Because you see it in the Scream movies, you see it in some other movies, but there's some times where you can't do nothing to those killers. They just go walk through everything. But man, they were messing this dude up multiple times. Like multiple times. Every one of the main protagonists in this movie, there was 3 of them, messed up these killers at least once to twice.
Yo, what I liked is when he was fighting the killer, it was a moment where he fought him too long by himself, and he just got tired. Because remember, they were smoking earlier, they were drinking earlier, so he doesn't have all his strength. He's probably
still half asleep to some degree,
basically. So this guy picks him up.
And he's got adrenaline running through him, so he's wasting more energy than you would think.
Normally, the guy picks him up, turns him sideways, and smashes him against the wall. Then he wraps into the blanket, and he starts going to town on that blanket, stabbing that blanket up.
Yeah.
And all I can think is, while those 2 chicks is sitting in the car,
this dude's getting killed.
Y'all could have jumped this dude. All 3 of y'all could have put feet on this man. To be fair,
at the time, we thought it was one person. So
yeah, but I mean, they could have still killed the dude.
Yeah,
and then take care of the next dude.
Asking you a question: how well do you think they hid the second person?
Very well.
I didn't expect it till when I started assuming. It's like I said, that there was a time where the dude's dead. He was ran through with some sharp object, so he's dead. He's gone. And then the chick, they start chasing the chick everywhere. The women everywhere. So they get to this addict, and first off, that door looks strong. He wasn't breaking in that door that easy.
Yo, addict, when they bust into the door and they kicked him down, I said, jump him. Yo, it was multiple instances in this movie. They could have ended the movie. They could have jumped him.
There was a time where the dude literally had him on the ground. It was over a wrap. But he surprised him with a knife and stabbed him. Like, if that dude was alive, they could have easily have killed them. Maybe even both of them. Because, as you will find out, we'll get to that here in a second, so after they get that, the 2 women are on the rooftops. They're going through the rooftops, and then he grabs the black chick through the window, which I will agree with you. He did grab her like a rag doll. And at first I thought he threw something out the window to break it, but if you go back and look, he literally smashes his hands through the window, which isn't really realistic. But he throws her off.
This is where I'm pissed off, right? I'm pissed off at that point where she has leverage. If she holds on to him, she could yank him out the window, right? If she falls back, she can take him out the window. Either way, both of us is hitting out of this window.
Yeah.
I hated the fact that I knew when it was going past the window, somebody gonna get grabbed.
Yeah, and I could tell it wasn't the first chick because she was quick going through. Because you could tell this chick was some sneaky chick when she was younger, man. She was going around this rooftop like it was nothing. Like she done snuck out of her house 1,000 times when she was a teenager. And what was funny is, so they threw the black chick off. She's on the ground. So I kind of didn't think
she looked like Family Guy.
Yeah, I didn't think she was dead. I at that time, no, there was no way she was dead. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. So the white chick comes down, and keep in mind that we're talking 10, 15 seconds. And she's going out the front door thinking she's fine because homegirl was just thrown out the window on like a
So the guy's
4-story
upstairs.
house.
Yeah.
So the killer's upstairs. She opens the front door. The killer's coming through the front door. I was like, "That's 2 killers. There ain't no way that can happen."
All right. So at this point, Attic found out it was 2 people. I'm thinking he's still supernatural. So your man's supernatural. So she's fighting this dude.
And she whoops his ass.
She mollywops him. But again, I say it again. Excuse me. She don't kill this dude. I'm like, you banging him in the head, but you ain't bang him in the neck.
I got to defend homegirl.
Right.
I am convinced she thought he was dead. Because there's a time where she stops and he's bleeding. And she just keeps going back to town on his head. Like,
I feel it. But
I think the reason she stopped hitting him is because at that time, that's when the second individual came through the door.
No. Remember, she stopped and she takes a breath. And she's like, okay. And she's like, let me
gotta
go
agree,
check
though,
this
King.
chick.
She did serious damage.
She did, but she
like,
goes.
Normally, I'd be with you. I'll
I'll
be like, "Yo, they should have kept hitting him." But if I was this chick, I probably would have thought he was dead.
I would have cut his throat. I'm sorry. We already
talk
had
about
a
what
situation.
actually happens to him. Like,
No, listen. It's a body here already. I just gotta make sure. I gotta have confirmed kill. You understand what I'm saying? I watched too many movies not to have confirmed kill. I'm gonna have to cut his car out of it. But anyway, she goes outside to go check on her friend because she figured she got the monster. I got the monster. And she goes, and then she hears the guy go inside the door, and he goes, "Oh
no!" No, what happened? When she stopped and she put down it was like some utensil used in a kitchen that she killed him with. Well, she beat the shit out of him with. So she puts it down and she looks up and there's another individual mask that's coming through the door. Yeah. So at this point, she's like, it's over. It's a wrap. Like, because, and you know, what's funny is at this time, the black chick is still on the ground outside and the other dude's just dead. He's not coming back. He's dead.
Yeah. Okay, so Addy. All right. So the next killer, tracking her, fighting her. She gets to the road. And they fighting on the road. And she see a car in the distance coming up the road. I'm like, yeah, she gonna get out of here. Why the hell she get to the car and the lady go, oh, what's going on? Chick, I'm bleeding.
And that is where I said they did a good job taking you away from the pandemic, the whole point of the movie. Because at that point, when she's like, oh, honey, do you put your mask on? I forgot this is a pandemic movie.
No, when she bleeding out, and she go, where your mask at?
And I was like, are you serious? So, like, there was some loopholes in this movie. But I do think that it wasn't significant enough to make me not enjoy the movie. Because sometimes you'd be looking at something like, come on, man. We know that's not how that would work.
But get it. So the lady goes, she pulls out a plastic bag. Oh, I got an extra one. Here. She slips it through the top of the window. Put it on. She's like, come on, man, give me the goddamn mask. So she put the mask on and she jumped in the car. And she goes, this mask smells like chloroform. So how the hell do you know what chloroform smell like?
So question. When she got in that car, did you suspect that she was with the killers?
No, dude, I thought she was good.
I didn't either. I didn't expect she was the killers.
Like, I thought she was good.
When she had, like, when they didn't pan out her driving the moment she got in the car, that's when I started suspecting something. Because, like, why ain't you driving? Like, the moment she was in that car.
I think they picked that lady purposely because, for me, that lady represents nice. She's always been nice in every film that I've ever seen. She's never played a villain. She's such a great actress. She's always been the nice, quiet. You know, and I'm thinking, this is all right. You made it to the lady that's on TV. That's a nice girl. All right. Yeah, she played the wickedest, evilest woman. That when they get to the house, and she's talking to her husband.
Here's the question: should we ruin the whole objective of the movie of why everything's going on?
You know what? Nah. I'm gonna tell you, it's a
we
huge
will let you guys
twist.
find out why these two individuals are going around causing havoc. We'll let you find that out by yourself.
Huge plot twist.
It was a good twist, though, King.
It's all self-inflicted. This whole movie is self-inflicted. You don't think so?
I feel like that's grief. Like
no. I'm talking about if one person didn't do one thing.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but I don't feel what the people did was justification for what they were doing. Like, because you could have literally connected the dots like 1,000 different other ways of how that individual ended up coming up with
the situation.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it was grief. They wanted to pin this on the first person they could pin it on.
Well, isn't that how everything goes?
It is.
You know, it's how you deal with loss, and they really went the sick way with it. That's why it's called sick. They really went the sick way with how they dealt with loss. And I mean, this is what happens when people take their own matters into their own hands, and you don't rationally think about things. I mean, a movie has a deeper meaning, and it does good in that part. But let's get to the rating on this movie.
Okay. So I went first last time. You go first this time.
I kind of spoiled it because I went first, remember?
Oh, okay. Then I'll go first this time.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 3-star. 3 popcorn.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was going to give it a 3-star because of all the plot holes.
Yeah, it was a solid movie. It's definitely worth watching, especially if you have Peacock. Now, is this worth buying Peacock for? No.
No.
Like, I wouldn't say that. I mean, if you get the trial, you want to sit there. The reason I do recommend it's like it's a good couple movie too.
Yeah.
So you could watch this, and I feel like unless your significant other has like a completely different taste of movies, I think both of you would enjoy it.
It's something that you're both alike. It's funny as hell.
Yeah. So,
and then you start to laugh at stuff that you would have did, differently when it comes to it.
So, King.
Oh, we down to the main event.
We are down to the main event. Today, we will be talking about episode 2 of the one and only Last of Us HBO show. So, King, first off, we're not going to go too much into the episode. I feel like with these, we'll go into a little bit, but at the end of the day, I recommend, first off, let's go me and you. Do you recommend this show off 2 episodes so far?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, I do too. It's a phenomenal show. Considering some of you know, I'm sure most of you know us coming from the Iron Lords podcast, we primarily talk about games. That's why sometimes when I'm talking about a movie, sometimes I'll say game by accident because I'm so used to talking about games. But the accuracy in this show on the game just shows everyone else, you can do this. You don't have to do anything different. What the original script is good enough to satisfy everyone. So, what is some of your highlights with it? Because we are going to have a spoiler thing, but I do want to talk about your general expectations with this episode and the highlights that you did have with it without spoiling anything.
Okay, well, as soon as the episode started, I saw that Neil Druckmann directed this one. And I said, okay, I want to see exactly how he's going to add more sauce to already a good mix, more layers to a deeper onion. I wanted to see deeper into the mind of the great Neil Druckmann, and he didn't disappoint
at all.
This is not a spoiler.
I saw a TikTok video of him on the scene with the actual director, the person who directs the majority of the episodes, and Neil showing him where the clickers need to come out.
Yeah, it's his level of care for his product, his baby. It shows. The clickers. See, we saw Infected. This is the first time we heard that.
Yeah, I looked up a picture, the best picture I could. I don't. It said this
Boy,
came from the TV show, but man, we got to be honest, man. They did a good job with how the clickers look, how they interact.
perfectly.
One thing I will bring up, is I do feel like the human interaction needs more so far. Like, and we got to get to the point too where a lot of the human interactions in the game was solely just for gameplay. They had
Yeah.
no purpose whatsoever in the actual shooting or anything like that. But it does make me think that is HBO and Sony, because we know that when you look at the gaming portion, Sony has came back a little bit on like killing humans.
Right.
Now, it's interesting that every time they come across humans that are dead, they died off screen.
Right.
So I don't know if that's how the story is written. I don't know if they don't want to go like showing humans getting killed on screen, but to me, it's like I do want a balance of infected and human interaction because that's what The Last of Us was about.
I think as the series go on and as Ellie and Joel start to get a deeper understanding of each other, I think that we'll see that when they start to talk to other humans. But at the moment, it's still world building, it's still world crafting, because remember, they're explaining how they had to bomb the place when they went to Indonesia.
Did very good world building with that.
Yeah, and they spoke to the Indonesian botanist, and she explained that this is no hope. Take me home to my family. I want to go to my family, and just blow this up. I was like, wow, because she started to cry, and she looks over at the officer, and she's like, this is very serious right here, and you're gonna have to blow this place up, but there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, someone said Sarah literally got shot by a person, but there wasn't a lot of blood in that scene. It was dark. You couldn't really see exactly what happened. You just knew that she got shot. But when these infected are going at people, or when you're getting shot by these fully automatic weapons, like in the way that The Last of Us portrays it in the actual show, there would be a lot of gore. So I'm curious if they're not doing a lot of the human-on-human interaction because they want to limit some of the gore that could happen in the show.
Rating. You get a different rating. You'll get a rated R rating.
What is this thing rated?
I think it's rated PG-13 or TVMA or something, but not rated R. I don't believe.
Is the TMA like worse though? It's like nudity in TMA, didn't it?
I don't. Well, they had nudity there with the lady on the table.
Yeah, that kind of actually surprised me. They
just
put her stuff all up in there.
Yeah, she
They could have easily have avoided that if they wanted to.
Yeah, they didn't. She was buck naked.
Let her be spread eagle, just sitting right there.
There it is. We outside. That scene that started off, I told my wife, I said, okay, throw them in the bushes. We outside. But this episode showed me, because there was a couple of things that Neil did that was different, and I had to run and go play the video game to see if this happened, because I forgot. And he added certain things to it. I really thought the Ellie character, you got a chance to see her age. You got a chance to see a little bit more into her personality. But you also understood that Joel is not a good person.
He's not.
he has done bad. And, this girl told him, do this for me. I don't ask you for a damn thing. Do this for me so you can set this right, so you can do this, so we can get some type of peace on this earth. If this fixes all the crap that we did, do this for me.
Yeah,
Hold
she's
on.
pretty much.
We got Tyler Crosby. What's up, Tyler? With the $5 super chat. This show is incredible. 2 episodes in, it might be the best show on right now. And the clickers look amazing. This is how you do a video game show right. Definitely, 100%. I agree with it. I agree with, you can add things to the mail. Like the video game had to tell it in a certain way, and it had to add gameplay elements in it. So now you got to tell the same story, but without the gameplay elements. So you have to add extra things to it in order for you to be able to digest it in the manner that they want to give it to you. And I believe I see how they're doing it, and they're doing it in a masterclass way.
Really good.
2 episodes in, I feel that it's going to be probably, and I'm glad they did it this way instead of doing a movie. You understand? Because if they did a movie, we wouldn't get all this development, all this good, rich story. A movie wouldn't do it justice. I think this TV show does it justice because you're able to digest it in an hour and a half shows, a 45-minute show, the hour show. So I think it works itself well in how it's being told.
All right, so I guess we'll go to the spoiler portion of the podcast.
All right, guys. So if you did not see this episode, and this is the part where we're going to spoil a couple of things. We're not going to spoil the whole episode, but this is the part where we're going to spoil some of the big plot points. And you might want to walk out the door. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I think what we should stay away from is the ending, the transaction that happened at the ending. We could talk about it, but don't say that transaction. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like the only issue I have is the lack of humans. That's all. I feel like everything else they did on point. I'm starting to come a little bit more on Ellie, Bella. I think that's her name, playing Ellie. I still don't like her. I don't like her visualization. I think that's a very key point to find someone that looks the part, and I don't think she looks the part.
Me neither.
But I gotta say, Teresa. What's her name again?
Yeah,
Teresa. Spot on.
She was perfect.
Yeah, I was going on. I was looking at that ending scene.
Yeah.
From side by side, it was almost word for word, and it was. Yeah. It's good, man, and it's just like something like you see like this. How well the pacing is. How they don't spend too long on one subject. I got a question
for you. Did the kiss happen in the game?
No, I don't think it did.
It didn't.
Yeah, so little things like that.
Why do you think that happened?
I feel like they wanted. I feel like in the game, they kind of worded them more of we're not a couple, we don't really have feelings with each other. Like we're just in this together. You know what I'm saying? But in the show, it seems like they try to put more emotion behind them too. Because if you notice,
I'm not talking about the kiss between her and Joe.
Who are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kiss that happened right before the joint ends, the climactic ending, the climax to it. Because
that's what I'm talking
about. Okay, okay. So you're talking about. All right, this I don't really want. You said just say it.
Just say it.
When the infected kissed her in the mouth.
Oh no, that didn't happen. That definitely didn't happen.
Right. So I was taken aback by this whole situation here. I didn't know why.
I didn't see that as a kiss though. I think that's the reason I'm confused when people bring that up. I saw that as that infection trying to infect her.
But she was infected already.
But then why would they even go after her at that point then?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, because they were running past her. They weren't paying her any mind, right? But Neil decided that this scene was necessary in this manner to convey something, because she was still fighting the control of the parasite. Because remember, once it starts taking over your neurological system, it starts to command you to do whatever it wants, just like the ants. But she was still fighting because she was trying to achieve her goal. I think, and this is just my hypothesis of the situation, is that it knew what she was trying to do, because remember, they're linked mentally, and she still had a semblance of her human self, and she was trying to destroy their chances of stopping Joe. And it was, if it infected her in that manner, it would take faster.
I feel you, but I feel like it probably would have been simpler just to injure her than it would be to stop her. I don't know. Part of me feels like that is weird. I saw it as, I'm infecting you. Like you know, because
I want to have Neil on so bad on ILP to ask him that question, because he directly directed this episode. Mm-hmm. So he had direct input in putting this scene here, which wasn't in the game, which was an added layer. But I want to know, what was he trying to get across to his audience at this, for this specific scene. Everything else was fine. I just questioned this one scene.
Yeah, and another thing too, it was, you know, they did change up the story just a tad bit. Like, nothing that would change the overall aspect of the story. If I remember correctly, it's been years since I played Last of Us. But the reason that she stayed behind was because of human soldiers in the original game.
Right.
And here it was because of the infected. All the fungus connected. That's not in the game for what I remember.
No.
So it's interesting. Like I said, they're taking the human aspect out. Like,
well, we have to wait until we see the encampments and the settlements across the land, that while they're trying to make their way to the Fireflies, because you remember the Fireflies was killed, and the thought that Joel had was that they turned on each other because of an infected. One got infected. Is it possible? Maybe not. Maybe so. So we just have to see as it plays itself out. But I think we're going to, when they start reaching the smaller encampments of humans across the land, that we're going to get those interactions, and we're going to get those human on human violence, because in a dystopian world where it's left to only the strongest survive, humans are going to be humans. They're going to turn to their base nature, and they're going to be the enemy, the threat. And the overarching threat is the virus, of course, but still, in The Last of Us, we all know the human element is the most dangerous element, because it's more calculating than any fungus that that we can encounter.
It's like it is when you look at it like The Walking Dead. You know, the infection was the original thing. The zombies were the original issue, but sooner or later, as humans, we're gonna solve that issue to some degree. Maybe we'll barricade it. Maybe we'll establish a society with walls, and then at that point, the issue is always gonna come back on us again, because every time we solve an issue in real life, we always end up bickering at each other, because either we're bored or there's envy, or like all the emotions come into play at that point. Zombies infected, there's no emotion.
Shine Films. I don't watch. I'm not a huge person in watching podcasts, and let me explain why. If I did that, then I probably would take on. Bless you. I would probably take on their thoughts. So I try to avoid it as
That's
much as
why I try to
possible.
avoid reviews when I'm reviewing a game.
Exactly. So it's another reason why I don't like people to chew my food. When it comes to video games, that's my analogy for that. And I like to delve deep into the subject matter. I can watch an episode 3-4 times to come to some type of thesis and bring it across in a manner that is original from my words, right? And also, I really want to have the conversation with Neil Druckmann about it with my words. So if it seems like I'm ignorant to the podcast, it's
It's
because I
because
am
we are.
ignorant to the
We didn't
podcast.
watch
I did not
it.
watch it.
So those of you that are looking at the chat, if you're looking at the pre, I just threw links. We did start an R&R YouTube channel, and the reason that I'm putting this out there because I know some of you don't like watching. Like, I'm probably not going to do timestamps on this, and the reason I'm not going to do timestamps is because we're going to upload the individual segments that make sense onto that channel. So, The Last of Us Part 2 is going to go on there. We're probably going to put, there's a Megan one already on
Thank you,
there.
sir.
We're putting the spoiler cast on that channel. And then sooner or later, I do want to evolve that into more. But right now, that's all it is. And that's what I'm putting on there. But, let's get into it, King. Let's get into it. Go over there and sub to that channel, chat. There's 63 people. I want 63 subs by the end of the show.
For sure,
All right.
for sure.
All right, so what would you give this episode, man? Popcorns, man. I need some popcorns
4.
from you. 4?
4. It's a 4 popcorn because I got a chance to see Neil's style in directing. And that's that's all I wanted. I believe he's a dope game designer. I believe he's a fantastic story writer. I just wanted to see him direct the live film, and he did so, and he masterclass. I think all the shots was done well. Like when they was outside the wall, when they went inside, and Ellie was so happy to go inside a posh hotel, and she's a kid, man, and that came across. She's a kid, and she's happy to be outside. You can see the wonderment in her eyes, and they
She did it
captured
in the
that.
first episode. Remember when she got out? She stood up, knowing that there was mad danger going on.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my god, I'm outside!" So I do like I'm the actual casting starting to it's especially with Ellie skinning you be used to it, but she's growing on me. You're gonna be surprised, King. You're gonna be surprised. I'm gonna give this a 5 popcorn.
Well, okay.
I feel like
listen.
the reason I want to give it a 5 popcorn
Why?
is because they did the clickers so well.
Oh yeah.
It's just I feel like Last of Us, the clickers is what makes the entire lore of Last of Us act like unique. There's not really anything like the clickers in all of gaming and TV and movies and everything. It's they did a good job explaining the clickers without explaining.
Yeah.
They did a good job, because when he went up there and they were on the side and Ellie was panicking and Joe was like he told her silently they can't hear, they can't see, but they can hear.
Yeah.
And it was so well. Look, do I got issues with the lack of humans? Yeah. But at the end of the day, there's still plenty of time to show us human atmosphere. It's a good show. I don't agree with Tyler that it's like the best show on right now. I think there's still shows that I would have to. I think the Chucky TV show just ended, so it's definitely probably up there. It's probably up there. But
you said the Chucky TV show.
Yeah, it just ended.
After I finished Sick, it flipped right into the Chucky episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there like, what the hell is going on? I thought it was a end credit scene, but it was a Chucky doll. So I had to, just sidebar. So okay, so you give it 5, I give it 4, because I think that there's going to be an episode that's going to blow me away, and I believe that the clickers, they showed how dangerous that they were, but Ellie did ask is it ones that shoot out spores that explode on you, that shoot out spores? Because I heard about that.
So they are
And,
going to have the bloaters in here in some way,
right, they're
shape,
gonna
or
have the
form.
bloated
That's
there,
good.
and
I
that's gonna
just
be a
the
dope
reason
episode.
I'm personally giving this a perfect score and is because they did such a good job on them clickers, man. And I was worried about it because I was worried they weren't going to get they would get the appearance right, but not the noise or
Right.
the sound, or they would get the sound right, but not the appearance. But they hit them both. They made them terrifying. Like the whole time me and Grace were watching, she's like, "Oh my God!" Like it was so well done. They did that. Now, obviously, in the game, the clickers grab you, it's a wrap. That's a game. They do that for gameplay mechanics. That's not really probably how that would work out.
Well, I know I saw people clowning on it. Like they grabbed them a couple of times. It's like in the game, it would have been game over.
I saw BG post, man, they must be playing on easy mode because he grabbed them like 4 times.
Yeah, but
it was funny, man. It was funny.
It was well done. I thought the aesthetics is, like I said, the atmosphere is incredible.
Apparently, Gene said this next episode, episode 3, is the best episode of all of them.
See, that's why I can't give it a 5 yet till I get to that episode that makes me call you on the phone.
I guess the reason I usually rate stuff differently. I rate on what that episode was achieving. That episode was about the clickers. So they did the clickers right. They did the sound appearance right. They did the build up to it right. I can't realistically find anything wrong with that episode besides maybe lack of human interaction and human atmosphere. So there's nothing I can give it a 4 because of. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I just hold that popcorn very high. So if I'm gonna give you a 5, baby, you're gonna have to knock my socks off. So I mean, it was if I probably didn't have that question with the kiss, it would have probably been a 5. So, I still have that question with the kiss. So that's about it. But other than that, it's just dope. Dopeness.
Chat, 1 through 5, man. Give us your popcorns. 1 through 5.
Yeah, let's see, chat. Talk to me.
I'm curious to your guys' opinion.
My wife texted me because she's watching. She's like, "Tell him it had me hiding on top of you." Like I'm watching, and she's on my side, and she's tucked under my arm watching. And when the clickers came out, because I know they're coming out, she has no idea.
Well, see, Grace played enough where she knew what the clickers were. But she didn't know how vicious they could be. You know what I'm saying?
My wife never played this. So she's watching this with brand new eyes. And she was like, what the actual, and, it's dope. It's just dope.
Yeah, they did a good job, man. They did a good job. I agree with King. It's a 4. Of course you guys would agree with each other.
Nah, a lot of dudes agree with you, man. A lot of dudes agree with you.
5, 5, 5. We good, man. We good. The chat agrees with Addict.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
Addict won this round. I mean, but we all win. We all win, man.
All right, so that's enough about The Last of Us, man. I'm gonna end that video.
So your assignment for next week is Violent Night.
Where the hell is that at?
I believe that's on HBO Max. It's about Santa Claus, sir.
Oh, is that the killer Santa Claus?
Just watch it. I can't spoil it for you, man.
Right. I mean, it's cool. I'll watch it.
Yeah. So that's my, and I'm pretty sure that you'll come up with something for me to watch.
Hold up. I actually got a movie I want you to watch.
Oh, tell me, sir.
It's called. Okay, I'm probably gonna butcher this name if I try to pronounce it. It's an old movie. It's made in 2001. I don't know if you've played this movie. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Have you ever watched that movie?
What is it? Frailty?
Yes.
I don't think so. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty much about a dude. His brother is a serial killer, and they're trying to figure it out, and he's trying to help the cops find him, if I remember correctly. So I think what we need to do from now on is chat. You know the movie I'm watching. You know the movie he's watching. Obviously, he's going to continue his Last of Us thing, his Attack on Titan thing. We're going to have general ideal. We're going to be watching Last of Us episode 3. You guys know what we're watching. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey's in it. You guys are going to...
So he's talking about You guys should watch The Sadness. Yeah, Frailty is fire. We're going to start posting this stuff up. We got to get a poll out.
I want them to know what we're watching so they can watch it throughout this week, because I think if we do pick something in the middle of the week, we need to tweet about it. We need to show the chat this is what we're going to be watching, because I do understand people coming into the show watching us talk about Sick for 20 minutes, and they're like, dude, I want to hear what you guys have to say, but now I don't even know what this movie is. You guys didn't talk about it last week. So we'll do better on communicating with you guys, because we want to make sure that when we talk about these, you guys can experience it with us, because you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
And if you don't watch the movie, it's your fault. So
yeah, so that way y'all can be a little bit more connected to us when it comes to that in that regard. So tonight I'll probably watch Frailty if I'm not going to watch a couple of episodes of Attack on Titan.
You can watch that with your wife. That is a good couples movie.
Well, listen, she's watching Attack on Titan with me. She's so invested in Attack on Titan. When she saw the female Titan, she was like, oh. Yo,
that ain't nothing.
I like when the dude bust out the dude's hand, because we thought he died, and she grabbed him up and she squished it. It looked like she squished his head and blood popped out, but nah, he don't die that easy. He popped out her hand, blew her hand up. I said, "This is my man. I like that dude." So yeah.
So that is it. Like I said, we are redoing how like the Patreon and stuff is. Probably when King hits the forest and Attack on Titan, he's probably gonna have to start live reacting to that. We'll figure out a way to have it set up pretty good, even if we have to use like a GoPro and a stand so he can watch it comfortably somewhere else. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But
yo, listen, guys. Also, don't forget the road to PAX East is on. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll probably catch me and Attic going to a movie, watching a movie while we out there, whatever, for R&R. I have no idea. We're going to figure it out. But the road to PAX East is there. Our goal is still up there. So anything you guys contribute to this show and to Iron Lords podcast definitely goes to the road to PAX East. All right. So
yeah, because all the super chats and stuff, all it does is, we're going to get the AMC like month pass thing, because we want to give you guys plenty of content. And I think the way to grow the brand is to watch current stuff with the old stuff. So as long as we constantly have that newer products going out there on this new channel and talking about it here on this channel, we'll be able to grow both channels to a sizable amount. And then once we get to a certain point that we can start getting early screenings, we can give you guys our opinions before the movie comes out. So you don't go watch blind stuff, man. So we don't ever want you going blind.
Yeah, because starting next month, February, Attic and I is we're gonna join that program, the AMC program, where we get a chance to watch all those movies. And we're gonna go sit down, we're gonna go watch these movies, and we're gonna come with current stuff, very, very current stuff that's inside the movies, along with these episodes of The Last of Us, which are phenomenal. So got a ton of movies this year, bro.
Yeah, we got a lot set up for you. So I'm gonna watch, what's that movie called?
Oh, you're gonna watch Violent Night.
Violent Night. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put that in the chat right now.
All right, and Frailty is what I'm going to watch.
I think Frailty's on HBO Max too.
I'll figure it out. I'll find it.
Frailty and Violent Night.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll see you guys next week. Now, keep in mind, tomorrow we're going to be reacting to the Xbox show. I think it's 3 p.m., so definitely tune into that. And then Wednesday, the Attic show. And then Sunday, we'll be back for another episode of Iron Lords podcast. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Definitely go to that, man. Go to that YouTube channel I put in the thing, because we definitely want to get that as high as we can. I haven't really promoted it too much because I want to get the artwork and stuff, at least the logo, done before we do that. But, I'm going to put it in the chat a couple more times. Definitely go to that, man. Sub to that. That way, if you want something particular, you could just go to that and watch that particular section of the video. But I appreciate everyone coming through. This is Lord Addict and King Day.